So my name is Ray Brown, and I will be your instructor for Math 055. I just want to apologize. I can't be there tonight. I have another commitment for another school this evening, but I do plan on being there the rest of the semester. So I'm going to go over a few things, a few housekeeping things for you in the beginning here, and then we'll turn it over to the sub to actually teach you some content this evening. But my information is in your D2L shell, so if you have some questions, please email me. That's probably the best way to get hold of me. Or I will see you Monday and see what questions you have for me. But I'm going to take a few moments, go over some key things in the syllabus, and then talk to you about how the course will be structured and how to get into my math lab. So again, I apologize for not being there this evening. So you're going to be accessing your MyMathLab through your D2L shell. So you're going to need to go ahead and log into D2L, Desire to Learn. And then it's going to be under the content. So if we click on content, what we're going to see then is the MyMathLab access. So this is the link that you want to click to get into MyMathLab. This is going to launch that link. So we click on that, and what you see is this green widget. And you just want to click on that widget to get you into MyMathLab. So from here you can select either link. The bottom link kind of gives you your e-textbook. The top link is just going to give you your assignments, though, without the e-textbook. I've had some people say that that top link will load a little faster, especially in some of the rural areas with limited internet. You want to go ahead and then accept, or you can go ahead and read all of their privacy policy rules there. If you need to create an account, you're going to want to go ahead and create the account. If you already have one, you can log in. If you need to create an account, use your Front Range email address then as your username and email address. Set up your password using a M instead of the S in your S number. This way, if I have to get into your account, I can have access, but please don't worry, I will not get in there and do your homework for you. On the bottom of the page there, you're going to need to accept their license agreement and then go ahead and create the account. You will need to look at some point in time before the 14-day free trial is up, paying for a license there. That'll run you $103.95. Pretty much the same as a textbook. So, the MyMathLab license versus textbook is probably about the same. If you notice on the bottom of the page, though, for right now, and I really recommend that you start here, is to go ahead and get the 14-day free trial. This way, if you decide that you don't like the MyMathLab, you don't have to worry about getting your money back. So you'll be able to go to My Courses then, and once you get into the course, you can click on Homework, and you'll notice then that you're going to be starting on this orientation homework. So that's kind of your first homework assignment then. That'll help orientate you to the MyMathLab platform. Under quizzes and tests, you will also find this pre-test that you're going to need to do before you start on the homework. And that's what that green flag means, is that you're going to have to complete that assignment, that Chapter 5-6 pre-test, before you get into the actual assignments. So this is kind of the basic flow of the assignments in the MyMathLab. You'll start each chapter by taking your pretest, and that is kind of the neat thing about a computerized assisted course, is that in a regular face-to-face class, if you tell me, I know integers and I shouldn't have to do the homework, I say everybody does the same homework. In a computerized class like this, if you know the material and score on the pretest and demonstrate that knowledge, then it reduces your homework assignments. So you go ahead and complete your pretest, then work on your assignments. After a little bit, the computer is going to stop and say, hey, time to take a quiz. then you're going to go ahead and take that quiz. You need to score 70% or better on 2 attempts. There is a paired assignment with that quiz, so really your best bet is to go through and take the quiz, do the quiz review, and then do the quiz again if you need to score a little bit higher. If you don't finish it in 2 attempts, just let me know and we can change that number of attempts and I can try and give you some feedback. The reason we limit it to 2 attempts is, I've had students try the quiz 15 times, keep making the same mistakes, so I don't want that to happen. Then you're going to continue on with your homework assignments, and your goal, really is to do well in this course. You want at least 60% or better on all those homework assignments before you take the chapter post-test. Ideally, remember you can do the homework as many times as you want. It should be 100%. And then you go ahead and take your chapter post-test, and then go ahead and get ready for the next pre-test. So that is kind of the cycle in there. You'll do a pre-test, chapter assignments, quizzes, finish up the chapter, take your post-test, get ready for the next chapter. If you see this screen, that means you tried to access your course in the wrong way. Our MyMathLab is linked into your D2L shell. You cannot log into the MyMathLab initially through the usual Pearson link. So if you're trying to register and you get this error, make sure you get back into your D2L and go ahead and then click on that green widget under the content. So let's take a quick look at a few things on the syllabus then. Computer software we talked about. Remember, there is no course ID for that. Textbook. If you want to get a textbook, that is optional. There is no calculator for this course, so you can use that on the homework if you'd like, but on the tests you will not be able to. We will do some group activities, and notice how those group activities, when we do those, cannot be made up for any reason. And there are some writing assignments. Those writing assignments are loaded into your D2L shell, so you'll be able to work on those and submit those from there. We'll talk a little bit about homework and quizzes at the end here. There will be some unit exams, some 60-minute tests. You must contact the instructor prior to an absence. So, let me know if you're, not going to make the test, and, we can look at making arrangements. But otherwise, we'll put a 0 in for that test. There will be a final exam too. The schedules are posted. The assignment schedule is posted in your D2L shell. No extra credit. I get asked that a lot, but there is no extra credit available in this course. Your grading scale. So it takes 70% to pass this course. This is not one of those courses where you want to just try and sneak by with a 69.5%. This is the course where you've got to come out with an A or a B. You're building a foundation for your next math class. So it really is important that you go ahead and work to get that A or B. And you've got a lot of resources available for you, so use those resources. Grading, 5% comes out of the group activities. Writing assignments are 5%. 10% on homework and quizzes, 60% on your exams, and 20% on the final. Study time, generally a 2-hour rule, but really it depends on the material and stuff. So just be prepared. Class attendance and participation, just be here. It's a good idea. And there's been a lot of notes about drop for non-payment. There's some notes in the D2L. You've got some emails on that. So make sure you're aware of that. So some important dates. February 1st, last day to drop and receive a refund. Last day to draw the W is April 15th. After that, you get the grade that you earned. And then some basic stuff that it's good for you to read through, and let me know if you have any questions as you look at that. We are going to try and pilot recording the classes as I present them in the classroom. And then I'll post those on my website, so we'll see. And then the Math Help Center. Use that. Some great tutors over there. Get some help if you need it. And two, then they've got some small group possibilities. Working in a study group can really help you be successful in the course. A couple things in particular about this course. There are pre-tests in there, so each chapter starts out with a pre-test. So you want to do that pre-test before starting on any of the assignments then. And remember, the pre-test is not counted against your grade. You don't even have to answer any of the questions. You can just go ahead and submit the pre-test. You just have to do all the homework then. The pre-test will never hurt you. It will only help you. It can reduce the amount of homework that you have if there's some content in there that you already know. But as you get into some of the later chapters, it may be that it just doesn't look familiar, and just go ahead and submit the pretest. Though I do recommend looking at the types of questions that might be in that chapter, so reviewing the pretest isn't going to hurt you. Homework and quizzes, you're going to have all of that in MyMathLab. There are required quizzes in MyMathLab, so make sure that you do those so that you can continue on with the homework. And then the computer software, we'll be using MyMathLab. So we've already talked a little bit about that. Taking a quick look at your D2L shell, we'll be posting announcements as I come across something that may benefit you, and try and keep you updated on where we're at. There might be some stuff in there, so make sure you read those announcements. There's also this link. This is that Zoom, what we call a synchronous tool, that we can use to actually get together online and look at some material. I'm thinking I'm going to try and have virtual office hours Thursday evenings, probably 7 to 9, 1900 to 2100. Your assignments are posted in the content area of your D2L. So this is where we've got that MyMathLab link, but we've also got a syllabus in here. Just some information on tutoring. So small group tutoring and the Math Help Center schedule is here. The Zoom link. There's your writing assignments and then your MyMathLab assignments. So if we look at kind of Unit 1 here, we can see it's broken down into where you would find the recorded lectures. So that will be on this page here. So I've got one up there loaded. Your assignments are posted here. Scroll up. So Unit 1 assignments. Looking at 5.6 on this first evening, and then we'll head into 6.1 on Monday. Your writing prompts, and I'll try and help remind you, but those are in here. There's a tab that shows all just the writing assignments, and then they're also underneath that link. And I really encourage you to go ahead and look at some of these writing assignments before they're even due. They're really some nice activities to help you understand how to be successful in a math class. So again, I apologize for not being there this evening. And let me know. You can email me if you have any questions.